Hi, this is Sean McGill from PDA247. I don't normally do unboxing videos because I think they're quite annoying, but I wanted to make an exception for a phone that potentially could have a huge influence on the smartphone market today. It's got a nice bright screen, quite a lot of memory on board, a superb design, and has the ability to bring more people to the market than we may have seen for a long time. So let's get rid of that and let's replace it with this. This is the HTC Touch Diamond. As you can see, it's got a very unusual box which is shaped like the end of a very large Toblerone. And I must admit, this is quite a fraudulent unboxing video because I've been using the phone all day. So let's pretend I've never seen it, and I'm going to try and act excited as well. So let's open it up. What have we got? Surprisingly, the box inside is exactly the same shape, but it's nice and shiny, nice and plastic, and would even make a nice space age ornament once you've been using the phone for a while. I could see a nice little plant on top of that, but yeah. So let's keep going with this before you nod off. What have we got inside? A disc which says getting started, and there is another disc in here. Let's go past the phone. Nice design, not easy to get into though. We've got another disc in here which is Active Sync, Windows Mobile Device Center, and I guess some extra applications. An HTC care brochure giving support numbers, which I've already used today as a matter of fact. A spare stylus, which as you can see is not particularly long and it's not telescopic either. A very cute quick start guide, which is well written, and really even for the new user they should be up and running quite quickly. An accessories brochure. Excuse me while I quickly run through these. A quick guide to TouchFlow 3D, which is extremely useful actually, and I got a few tips right from the start that speeded up my initial experience. We have stereo headphones, which interestingly, if you look closely, have this, again, this triangular design, even down to the microphone part. From everything from the box to the phone to the accessories, it all follows a theme and really does add something to the initial experience. And that's about it in the box. Plus you get a charger, of course. This is a charger where you have your synchronization mini USB cable, which just slots into there, and like most chargers you can take that off and change that with an ending for a different country. So unfortunately you only get a UK charger with this, and obviously you will only be able to either charge it using this or do a trickle charge with the USB cable. So it's not a bad idea actually, because you can use this for many other devices as well. You may have noticed as well the design of the charger. Very unusual, very HTC Touch Diamond again, which is quite impressive. Now, onto the phone itself. As you can see, it's incredibly small. It's a lot smaller than we may expect. Very thin, dominated by the screen on the front with these buttons and a nice little nav wheel below. I'll explain how that works in a minute. And on the back, the much talked about design. Looking at that, it looks extremely curved, and how would that sit on a desk? But it's almost entirely flat. You put it on a desk, it sits there nicely. As you can see there, you can barely see any indentation at all. It's extremely clever, and the way the camera sits in as well does make it look pretty good. Not quite convinced when I'm holding that to my ear. It's maybe a bit posy for someone like me, but it's certainly got something about it. The stylus pops out here. Again, it's quite small, but it's magnetic, so as you put it there, it just pops in like that. Nice idea until the magnet loses its power, but we'll worry about that in a couple of years. Here's the screen. Incidentally, the screen is excellent in very bright sunlight, which is a real treat for any Windows mobile device. For example, my Samsung i780 is an absolute nightmare in sunlight, and it can seriously restrict the use. So as we go through, you've probably seen the promo videos of TouchFlow and the way everything works. It's all very smart. It's all very nice to use. There is a slight quirk with TouchFlow 3D, and that it uses an awful lot of system RAM. I did find that it can use up to 20 megabyte of RAM. And at one stage, I did drop perilously close to zero. Again, that's being discussed and being looked at. You have all your photos and images you've taken. You don't have to use your finger. You can use this as a traditional left, right, up, down navigator. You get some music built in, which is not very good, but at least it's there. Here's the much touted weather screen, which is a superb novelty. I mean, it does work well, and the graphics really are stunning, particularly when it's raining, and I'm almost hoping we get rain tomorrow just so I can see the little windscreen wipers come across the screen. How sad is that? To give you an idea of the size of this thing, I'll put it next to a BlackBerry Curve. As you can see, the BlackBerry Curve is quite a bit wider, and it's also deeper. And height-wise, about the same. And you look at the screen on the 2, there's not much in it, but arguably the Touch Diamond screen is better placed, the only difference being no keyboard. Next to, this is an iPhone, by the way, you may have heard of them. Next to this, as you can see, the iPhone is quite a bit taller, quite a bit wider, and depth-wise, very similar, but this is lighter, and this is, well, I don't know, this seems to fit into the hand a lot nicer. The iPhone, love it to bits, but it's a bit of a slab when it's next to your ear. And finally, the i780 from Samsung. This really is quite a difference here, because the width and everything, and it's actually 3mm deeper, and this is a very thin phone anyway. So despite the fact that the Touch Diamond's got GPS, Wi-Fi, HSDPA, 3.2 megapixel camera, which is surprisingly good, and even the videos I took today, I transferred them to the PC, I was very impressed with. Despite the fact there's so much there, I don't know how HTC have managed to fit it all into this. It's very much a sort of fashion device that consumers would like. You have to remember that TouchFlow 3D can only go so far, and after 2 or 3 steps you're back into Windows Mobile. For me, that's not a bad thing, but I'll discuss that more over the next few days, where I'll be writing some in-depth reviews on my first week's use with it. So make sure you visit www.pda-247.com to see how I'm getting on. That's all for now. Thank you.